vlog here on the orphanmovie.com. As always, I'm your host, Jonathan Russell. And this time around, we're going to talk a little bit more about our short film we got coming. It's Who's On First. I'm sure a lot of you have seen, and if you haven't, we have a teaser trailer out now that's got a little bit of it to give you a bit of an idea of what's coming with it. One of our associates that we're working with, Chase Boyer, put that together for us. He's actually doing a little bit of B-roll film here. We got another camera also set up, so things are a little bit different this time around. So if it has a different look, there's a reason for it. Anyways, what I was going to talk about this time around was scheduling and planning. Whenever we started these vlogs, we said that we were going to share with you the good things and the bad things. The reason is we're not just doing this as a filmmaking journal for our journey from starting off to making The Orphan, but we also were hoping it'd be a resource that'd be useful to other aspiring filmmakers. That's why we want to share the pitfalls that we find, the bumps in the road, and the ways we got around them, or if we just had to leave them as is, in order to help other people that might encounter the same sort of thing. With the scheduling, we were off somewhat because we were on a tight timeline. We got ourselves into a situation where we were wanting to try and make all of our shorts before the end of the year if we could, and we were getting tight on time. So we decided, since Who's On First was going to be the easier of them, and that's why we were making it our first, that it would be easier to schedule. And as you remember from a few vlogs back before we actually filmed, that we ran into problems as far as real life getting in the way of with work, as far as myself and Valerie, as far as being able to schedule and work on our lines and that kind of thing. And then as I mentioned also, Katie and I just recently went on a week and a half vacation, and we ended up having to reschedule the shoot for the Saturday after we got back. So we got back on Tuesday from vacation, and we're scheduled to shoot that Saturday. As it turned out, I didn't have the chance I had hoped to review lines, go over things while we were on vacation. There was just too much going on. Valerie had things. She wasn't able to devote as much time to it as she wanted. So when we did get together, we ended up kind of not where we had planned to be or had hoped to be. We were still kind of rough on lines, and we spent a lot of time, a good part of the morning, working on those lines and trying to get everything tightened up and trying to get a better idea of where we were going to be as far as the filming and how we were going to be set up. Whenever we decided to go ahead and shoot, we were rough on lines. There were some lines that were dropped. A lot of it I was thinking, we'll be able to quote Jake's favorite line, fix it in post. But I don't necessarily mean fixing it in post. I knew we were going to be doing reverse shots and close-ups, and I thought maybe by splicing, whenever he was doing the editing, we'd be able to take care of some of those problems, and he's going to be able to do that. But there's some of the points where it's just we have to go with what we've got, and it's not necessarily ideal. That said, that there's as I said before, there's the trailer that's come out, and he's gotten a little bit further in the putting together what we have, and it's still very rough, but there's a lot of more dead space in it. If you've seen the video that I recommended of Abbott Costello actually performing the routine, it's a very rapid fire. It's boom, 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 back and forth, and there's a lot of ebb and flow to it. That's what I was intending to go for with this, but this is kind of one of those things where your poor planning ends up kind of being a little bit of a blessing in disguise, because watching it and watching what he has put together so far, there's a little bit of more dead space than I'd like, but on the other hand, it makes it more conversational, and I actually like the direction that it's going with that, because of putting it in the situation that we have. It is a conversation. It's a conversation between a husband and wife. So even though it doesn't have that rapid fire back and forth, there's going to be some of that in there, but a lot of it has a certain element of reality, I guess you'd say. People don't necessarily talk like they do in the movies. We all know that, and that gives it a little bit more of a realistic edge, and I'm really liking that. As far as the planning, as far as the shots go, was the planning on that. I gave Jake a rough idea of what I wanted. We kind of went through, and I want to do this here and there, And he's kind of using that as a guideline. He's not going exactly by it, which is fine, because I trust his instincts on this, and he's doing really great with it. But it's going to be interesting to see what we end up with as a final product on this. We're really excited, like I said, about getting this out to y'all for you to be able to see it. Hopefully in the next few weeks we're going to be able to do that. But when we do release it, we're going to do something different. We decided we have an email list, like I've told you before, on our website that you can where you can sign up. We're going to release it first to our email subscribers. We're going to give them a link to it. So before it goes out on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else, and hey, come see this, the people that are actually subscribed to our email list are going to be able to see it first. So maybe that's a little incentive for you to sign up. I'm going to send out an email on that probably tomorrow. I need to get one out this week. I haven't yet. But anyways, we're going to be doing that first, and then I don't think we actually talked about a timeline as far as when we're going to release it generally after that. But anyways, we got it coming up, something to look forward to. If you haven't seen the teaser, by all means look that up. It's on our Facebook page. It's also on Twitter, and it's on Instagram. Look us up there. We've gotten a lot of positive response from it, and Jacob just said it's going to be linked on the web page. So look out for that. If you haven't seen it, take a look at it, see what you think. Also, just to cover another one of the little things that was something that was unanticipated, not really planned for, was the lighting. If you'll notice, it's a lot darker than what we had intended. He's going to be doing as much as he can in the editing phase to lighten it up some. But right now we have 2 lights that we work with, and that's what we had when we filmed. We actually had a third one in the living room here where we filmed. There's actually a skylight about where Jacob is, and then there's one back here behind me. And the day we filmed, it was cloudy, so there was light coming in, but it wasn't the right kind of light. It was casting odd shadows and hitting in weird places. It just didn't work. We had to mask it off behind me. And so we ended up with a darker set than we intended to, but it still worked out pretty well. It's gonna, like I said, it's one of those bumps in the road things. We're doing what we can with what we can have, and we're gonna be getting some more lights on down the road. Maybe we'll have somebody show up that says, hey, I'd love to do the lighting for your films, and they have their own kit. That'd be great. I know I'm dreaming, but it could happen. Anyways, that's the kind of stuff that you have to look out for. You have to plan for. Some of it you can't really plan for, but you got to do what you can. That'll wrap it up pretty much for us. I got kind of long-winded this time around, but I wanted to share all that with y'all. If you want to email us, of course, the email is realorphanmovie@gmail.com. Website is theorphanmovie.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, The Orphan Movie. That'll wrap it up for us this time around. Like I said, go sign up for the email. You'll be the first ones to see who's on first when we have it ready to go. And until next time, we'll see you right here at theorphanmovie.com.